to Personality in the Morning with your favorite personalities, Ian and Anna.
Great one, Anna. Today's topic is something a little more scientific. I know, we're very sophisticated here.
Tell me more.
Today we're going to be talking about culture, language, disabilities, and aesthetics, and how all of these things may be connected by one simple mechanism in your mind, mirror neurons.
Mirror neurons? I should know about this. I look in the mirror all the time.
Not that kind of mirror. This mirror is in your brain. Neurons are firing, helping you imitate other people's actions. But let's learn a little bit more.
Let's.
Hi, Anna, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So it says here you're experiencing some arm pain. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, it's actually, I know this sounds weird, but it's in my left arm, or where my arm used to be. Feels like my hand is in a weird position and it feels like it's cramped up.
Excuse me. Hey, I know this is kind of weird, but would you mind sitting somewhere else? The red file on your shirt is kind of bothering me.
Why is that?
Well, I want it to be green.
Water.
Wire.
Water.
Water.
Water. Water.
Water.
Yay, good job, hon. Good job. Yay.
So, why exactly are you talking to your daughter like?
So, I don't understand. I'm having such a hard time with Danny right now. Every time I go to hug him, he runs away and he screams and he doesn't understand why the other kids are having fun on the roller coasters and everything when we go to the amusement park. And I know it's because he has autism and he just doesn't understand, but I don't get it.
Wow, those seem like some tough problems, didn't they, Anna?
Indeed, indeed. Amazing to think that one neurological mechanism could be responsible for all of them.
But how? Tell us more.
Well, mirror neurons are responsible for perception, action, and imitation. We saw problems with these things in each of the caveats we saw earlier.
Wow. Let's go back and look at these clips again. But let's watch a little longer to see if we can find out more about what's happening psychologically.
I'm interested, aren't you?
Hi, Anna, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So it says here you're experiencing some arm pain. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, it's actually, I know this sounds weird, but it's in my left arm, or where my arm used to be. Feels like my hand is in a weird position and it feels like it's cramped up all the time.
I see. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about why the arm was amputated?
Well, I got into a pretty bad car accident about 4 months ago. And after no sign of recovery of movement, they decided to amputate it because it was paralyzed and there was an infection in my upper arm that was spreading.
I see. Okay. Well, Anna, you see, you have what's called a phantom limb. Even though your arm is gone, the connections in your brain are the same. After your accident, when you still had your arm but could not feel anything, your brain learned that it was paralyzed. Your brain would send messages to your arm such as wave or move, and it would receive negative feedback from the skin and muscle nerves because they weren't there anymore. The connection in your brain, the connection between your nerves and high-functioning parts of your brain were destroyed. As a result, your mind began to associate "I want to move" with "nothing's happening," and learned that your arm was paralyzed. What we can do to help this is something called mirror therapy. We'll place a mirror in front of the arm that you do have, and it will reflect, and it will trick your brain into thinking you have two arms. When you move the arm and see the reflection moving, your brain will think the phantom limb is actually moving, and you'll be able to release some of that cramping feeling.
Okay, seems like it's worth a shot.
Awesome, let's give it a try. Excuse me. Hey, I know this is kind of weird, but would you mind sitting somewhere else? The red 5 on your shirt is kind of bothering me.
Why is that?
Well, I want it to be green.
Great.
Yeah.
No reason for that? Like, does this happen a lot?
Yeah, I mean, most numbers I associate a color with. I think it's because when I was a kid, we had these refrigerator magnets, and the 5 was green, so I wanted 5s to be green.
Well, have you ever heard of synesthesia?
No.
So it actually has nothing to do with memory, and it sounds a lot like what you're talking about. This happens in the brain's frontal lobe, which is very close to the fusiform gyrus. It's said that these two are crossfire, that they're the two main areas with synesthesia. The fusiform gyrus is where the color information is analyzed, and it's also like the part that deals like with the formation, like the physical formation of numbers. So if this happens a lot with certain things, I would just recommend maybe getting it checked out.
I might do that, thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
Water.
Wire.
Water.
Water.
Water. Water.
Water.
Yay, good job, hon. Good job.
So why exactly are you talking to your daughter like that?
Well, she's gonna need to learn how to talk. She's not just gonna know how to do it on her own.
Well, won't she just learn from being around people?
Well, even if she does have some sort of biological language acquisition device, everyone knows her vocabulary isn't innate. She has to know that we call water water and not something else.
Well, I think if apes can communicate, your daughter's gonna be just fine.
Well, what apes acquire is far different from the sophisticated language that humans have developed. Humans can use recursive language, and they have a flexible and extensive vocabulary.
Okay, so maybe ape wasn't the best example. What about parrots? They can talk just like humans do.
Okay, that's true, but what they have is just speech. Language produces meaningful and novel ideas.
So why do you care so much about language?
Hello, it's a huge component in what makes us human. It's fascinating to think that early humans possibly had a cross-modal experience and developed language from not only the need to just communicate, but from natural sounds that physical images dictated in their brains. Regardless if you agree with Chomsky's mysterious and inexplicable LED, or if you back a different theorist, it's a major part of what makes us who we are.
So, I don't understand. I'm having such a hard time with Danny right now. Every time I go to hug him, he runs away, and he screams, and he doesn't understand why the other kids are having fun on the roller coasters and everything when we go to the amusement park. And I know it's because he has autism and he just doesn't understand, but I don't get it. Do you have any advice for me?
Well, actually, I just went to the convention the other week, and it talked a lot about these things called mirror neurons, and they talked a lot about autism and how mirror neurons help with things like empathy, intention reading, pretend play, and such like that. So, like with your kid he didn't understand about the roller coasters because, according to this research, his mirror neuron network aren't working; they're just not connected or dormant or something, and so. They've come up with this research about a biofeedback, which actually has to do with mu waves, which I guess something to do with lungs. Like if you see me like eating, then you some wave in your brain gets suppressed. But children with autism, that doesn't happen. But if they watch a screen and they are taught you need to suppress this wave, then they can kind of learn to become a little bit more understanding and things like that. And it's actually shown to work. And then one that I thought was a tad bit crazy, I would never give to my child, was that they talked about drugs, specifically MDMA, which is ecstasy.
Ecstasy.
Yeah. But apparently it's shown to increase empathy. So, it's a huge thing for people with autism, but, I mean, just seeing that there's all this other things out there for people with autism, you know, can't give up hope.
Thanks, Kayla.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Next time, tune in when we have romantic episode when we discuss our operational definitions of love.
You mean statistics?
I just smiled. I just smiled. Keep going.
Go back to a couple sentences. Not from the
Why?
You stop responding to me. I'm like, what? We're therapy. I'm in character.
Can we just come back and do this later?
Suck it up. I'll read it. Just do it. Have
So what
someone
you're
else
saying
say,
is, this is what I have to
you
do.
have an emergency. Someone else come read it, like for the doctor, please.